Welcome to Love Rant, guys, / Date Rant. Roll that intro. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is MOD channel with Mr. Essien, where we help you to see a real and practical Christian from God's word. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking specifically at the purpose of relationships. We know that in our world today there is what we call dating. That's what I'm really here to define. It starts with the idea of love, and everybody does it, and I mean it's nice, you know what I'm saying? It looks nice, and you've seen so many movies where they're just two people and they're just in love and everything. In fact, some run away from home and stuff. I was just recently watching a series where the guy is so much in love with the girl, and he's a thug, and the girl's father is like, you're not gonna marry my daughter, and the guy actually staged a kidnap to kidnap the girl. Now he's not kidnapping her because he's going to marry her. He's just kidnapping her because they want to just be together, keep having sex, and they're just together, you understand? And so this idea called dating, where did it come from? What does it mean? Because we can't assume that dating means the same thing it meant when the world was still sane. Maybe when we were kids. In fact, when we were kids, the world was getting insane. Let me even say when our parents were kids. In those days, the idea of dating, or maybe the dictionary still goes by this, of dating was just that you basically, meet up with somebody. It could be a friend, your dad, your mom, your sister, an old pal, male or female, meet somewhere. It's just an appointment, a date. It's a date, exactly, date, the word date. It's an appointment. You just go sit down, eat something, or go just chill and everything. It could even be a business appointment. You could even date your enemy. You sit down and you sort out your issue. But today, that term has really been abused. I mean, how many times we hear dating and it just means two people in together with no purpose whatsoever. Now, if we want to examine these things, we have to look at them from the light of God's word, if you agree with me, because you see, if you are a Christian, you have to live by a standard. You cannot just adopt anything that you want to adopt because it looks good. The question is, what does God's word say about it? And that's what I'm here to explain to you. Don't worry, it'll be good in the end. But let's examine relationships in God's eyes. Basically, we know that in God's eyes, there's people who are single, there's people who are in a relationship, and then there's people who are married. In fact, let me put it more like this. There's friendships, there is what we call relationships that have what we call courtship and engagement, and then you have what we call marriage. So there's basically this 3-stage process, and friendship has 4 different levels. Now, if you think about it, from the Bible, we only saw 2 things. Is that the person was single, or the person was in the process of getting married, which is what we call engagement, or the person is married. Meaning that a single person wishing to get married must go through a process. That process is what we call a relationship. A relationship converts a single person to a married person. That is a relationship. Meaning that you must have marriage in mind when you are looking at being in a relationship. The moment you decide, you know what, I'm going to go beyond just being friends with this person, and I want something with you, which is an emotional thing, which is usually physical, being together in any sense or form, and even sexually, you are looking at marriage. That is the purpose of it, marriage. Many people don't like hearing this thing, but think about it. What they've done is that there's a single, there's a relationship, and there's a married. They've now taken the married aspect, it's like cake. They just cut out that aspect because that aspect is nice. Now, here are some reasons why people just enter into relationships and don't think about marriage. Well, number one, it's very convenient because marriage is responsibility. Marriage is heavy. My goodness, getting married is not easy. I got married recently, and I can tell you that it is not easy. It's stressful. It's when I got married I realized all these ladies you see everywhere as a guy, all these ladies, they're not free of charge, especially if you're in Africa. If you're in the abroad, in quotes, it's like that. But in Africa, marriage is a business. Weddings are a business, you understand? And it's an expensive venture where millions are spent. Aside that, marriage is a transition from feelings to responsibility. In marriage, I don't just feel, I do. There are many times you do without feeling because it's the right thing to do, not because you feel like doing it. And that's a very big transition for many people. Many people are not ready, are not willing to go the extra mile like that. Okay, maybe you buy her recharge card, and maybe they start to try to oblige themselves by having sex, but there's not really anything that is actually binding them. Because that's why Many people break up in relationships. Some may argue that in divorce that they also break up. Yes, in divorce, people actually break up, but it's a more serious thing. By the time you get married, as I said, in Nigeria, and your parents are there, her parents are there, your extended family members are there, your best friends are there and all that, and you came together and said, I do. Like, honestly, you should rethink it. If you want to get a divorce, it should be that all those people that came before should come again, and then you can't tell them that I broke the vows that I actually said that day. And then I think that will actually tell a lot of people. So it's a very, very serious thing. Many people want shortcuts. You just want the emotional rush without the responsibility, and it doesn't work out. It doesn't really work out. This video is just for you to understand that it's a vehicle. It's supposed to be when you are ready for marriage. So if you're not viewing marriage, you don't have marriage in mind or in sight, you should not be in it, period. Some might say, yeah, I love her, I want to marry her. I remember when I was working in school as a counselor, and they asked me to talk to one teenager there in SS3, I think that time, who was disturbing one girl, and he was telling me, say, sir, I love this girl, I will marry this girl. And I was looking at him, I said, this one even know his left from his right. And I mean, they graduated, they didn't take, I think I say a month or so they broke up. It doesn't hold water. I even had a friend that dated the girl from, secondary school days. They said they were going to get married. Now, it's a very slim margin that actually do get married, and I'm going to explain why. They said they were going to marry. They even dated till final year university. Once they graduated, they broke up. And I'm like, okay, so what was the point of all those years of dating? Now that you know that it's responsibility that qualifies you to be in a relationship and it should be heading straight to marriage, how do I know I'm ready for a relationship? It's pretty simple. I think it's maturity, but maturity is not just maturity. How do you know you're mature? What's the yardstick for maturity? First of all, I would say that you should be physically mature. Obviously, that you should have grown up. If you are still writing jam, you're not ready. You're a girl and this guy is collecting pocket money from his daddy to give you, to take you out, and your head is swelling and you think you're ready, or he's ready. Is it his own sweat that he's using to earn that money, or is his daddy just doling out cash for him? Second one would be spiritual maturity. And now this is for people who want to be serious with the Lord, who think that just major things. You should have grown in God. So also say, you should have the fear of God. What is the fear of God, brother or sister? Some people have the fear of God and they're still sleeping with each other every night. It's not the fear of God they have, but there is that one where you have godly character. Godly character contributes to about 80% of marriage success. Marriage is about walking in love and forgiving. So if your walking in love game is not tight, man, you are in for it. You are really in for it. If you really want to understand the love walk, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 3 or 4 down. The Bible says love is patient. How patient are you? You want to get married? Are you patient? Or any small thing, you just flare up, temper, just pick your phone is hanging, you want to, you're just like, you want to just smash it. You want to get married, you will smash someone's daughter's head. You have temper, you can't control your temper. Love is patient. Love is kind. You are very harsh. Your words are brutal. When you speak to people, you wash them up and down. You are a terrible person. Look, I'll tell you that your singleness is supposed to be preparation, and it's not just for marriage, it's for life. You can't have lousy character and you want to marry somebody. You will crash that marriage. Then, of course, there's emotional maturity, which is actually part of that spiritual maturity, which is your ability to control your emotions. Actually, character has a lot to do with controlling your emotions. That's not acting the way you feel, but acting based on what is right. Treating people with dignity and respect and all those. Some people, it's only when they like a person that person is worthy of respect or dignity. And that aspect of maturity is, I would say, academic maturity. Before you think of getting into a relationship, I recommend that you should finish school. And the reason why you should finish school is because there is no rush. Many people, you know what they do? They just rush into something, see someone they like, and then they hook up, and then they begin to promise each other marriage. I'll marry you, I'll marry you. From first year. From first year, what do you know about life? What do you know about anything? And you're promising each other marriage, and you're hooking us, tying yourself up. You don't know about the fact that you could meet better people. People change. Honestly, the person I was in my first year was not the person I left as in my final year. So imagine if I decided to toast somebody in my first year and I was like, I'll marry you. By final year, honestly, my vision for life has changed. My mind has changed. So many things have changed. And I'm still forming, like, I don't want to break someone's heart. You understand? It's just better to have sense and then just calm down. When you're ready, which I recommend, like, even after you finish school, I don't think it's not even like, there's lots of things to do. My pastor once gave me this advice, and I think it's gold. He said for ladies, he said, let a lady get to a point where she can actually have options. Now, I don't mean the silly options you have in university where all these small boys just want to sleep with you. I'm talking about options like when you come out in life and there are more mature, stable men that you actually see, and you can actually weigh and say, okay, this one, is offering, this one is offering, this one is offering. and I can say, okay, I pick this one, I choose this one, because you will be frustrated if you pick the wrong person and then you have the rest of your life just wishing you could actually go back in time and, marry someone. At least that one, even if you are in Wahala or Hellfire, two of you know that I chose this person. So it's important. There is also financial maturity. You need to be financially stable. Marriage is a capital intensive venture. I can't stress that enough. It is so capital intensive, especially to the man. I'll say to you that the Bible will say, love your wife as Christ loved the church and died for her. You should love your wife as your own body. In other words, you are supposed to take care of your wife. You are responsible for her, even financially. Now, there are some cases where the woman is making more money, or both of them are working and everything. Fine, that's biblically allowed. Even Proverbs 31 helps us see that God actually supports an industrious woman. But the point is that the man, you are responsible. You are a foundation. There's a reason why the girl's father takes her and gives her to you. You have responsibility to actually take her, nourish her, make sure she's okay. That is part of your responsibility. So you just take a girl like that and you're not ready to do that, to support her, to be selfless. One thing I'll say, I'll talk about like my own dad. My dad, when we were kids and my dad would get a new car and stuff, he always gave my mom the car. He always put my mom first, and I saw that example growing up. It's sacrifice all the way. If you're not ready for sacrifice, man, leave the girl alone. Leave her alone. All this, coming together, we're dating, are together. What rubbish is that? What joker? Leave the girl alone. Leave her alone. She's somebody's wife you're messing with. Leave her alone. The girl wants to be left alone. Aside finances, right? He should also have accommodation. We always say you should have a house, not a hostel. Basically, he should have a place, a house. Where are you going to keep the woman? We're not saying have a mansion, or saying have a place that is your own, that you have the keys. These are some very, very serious things that I learned as a teenager. I heard as a student. I listened, and that's how I made a good decision for marriage, because I realized, okay, I wasn't ready at this point. I wasn't ready. When I was ready, I knew I had come out of school. I was facing life. I had discovered my purpose, or why I was on the earth. I was pursuing it, and I was ready, for a relationship. The person I eventually married, from the first day when we began to get more acquainted, I let her know that, look, this is where we're headed to. This is where we're going. I hope I've been able to establish a case for you to wait for the right period of time, which is when you are ready to get married, and to follow some of these parameters. If you have any questions about these further questions, I'll leave my email in the link in the description, where you'll be able to message me and ask me any question you want to ask, and I will gladly answer them. And of course, if you have any other everything you want me to touch on that I didn't really touch on in this particular thing on relationships, please let me know and I will get back to you guys. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Then smash that like button, and of course please tap the notification button so that you are alerted when we post the next video. I hope you learned something. This is MOD channel, where we help you to see a real and practical Christianity from God's word. God bless you.